Standing on ground that would normally be buried in snow but is now naked and brown, Governor Jerry Brown announced sweeping plans to cut water usage by 25% in the next 9 months.
We're in an historic drought, and that demands unprecedented action. It's for that reason that I'm issuing an executive order mandating substantial water reduction across our state. As Californians, we have to pull together and save water in every way we can.
Compounding the problem this year is the lowest snowpack in the mountains measured since 1950, a snowpack that drains into basins and supports 25 million people. The public finger-pointing has been most obvious between farmers and city folks. Farmers have a big problem with residents in Los Angeles, for instance, maintaining huge lawns and water-hungry landscaping, while city dwellers point to the exorbitant amount of water used by those irrigating their crops. Now, the governor's order includes every sector here in California. Cities must put a halt to watering the median strips down the middle of roads. Golf courses and campuses and cemeteries must drastically cut water use. 50 million acres of grass will be removed. A temporary rebate program will help people replace water-guzzling appliances, and micro-spray systems must be installed in new housing developments. Residents cannot water lawns on rain days or 2 days after, and heavy reporting practices will be placed on water used by farmers. Now, if local agencies don't comply with these orders, they can be fined up to $10,000 a day. The Water Board will release draft regulations in mid-April to implement the orders, and regulations will be ironed out and approved in early May, right in time for summer. In Los Angeles, Lindsay France, RT.
¿Va a subirlo ya? Oh, mira, concha tu madre. Vamos, Caco, ven. Claro que estaban allá en el morro, Vamos, Caco. Caco, sale para acá, weón. Mire. Hácete para acá, hácete para acá. ¿Esa es la casa de Michelle? ¡No le falte, cuidado! Ay, Dios santo, que tú, madre. No.
Hit cars.
Look at there goes cars. What?
Oh God.
I saw headlights go flying. He's over.
Oh, 911. Go, 911. Go.
Some terrifying images and sounds out of Illinois last night. At least 2 tornadoes touched down near Chicago. 2 people were killed, and officials say nearly every building in the community of Fairdale was either destroyed or badly damaged. In nearby Rochelle, a dozen people ran into a restaurant cellar for safety and ended up stuck there for more than an hour.
I looked out the window and I saw it, and it was huge. You know, it was huge, and it was coming right for us.
I was just blown away by the sheer terror of everything.
A metal wall fell on the cellar door, trapping the group. Firefighters were able to get them out in about 90 minutes. No one, thankfully, was seriously hurt there.
Oh my God, horizontal.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. This is violent. You guys, it's right there, right there.
Stop. We're good. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It hit cars. It hit cars.
Look at there goes cars. What?
Oh my God.
I saw headlights go flying. Oh my gosh.
Josh, you need to stop.
No. Keep going. Keep going. We'll
Go
We're
slow.
fine.
We'll go
We're
slow.
fine.
We'll go slow.
Oh my God. We need to see if anybody's all right. We need to go. Call 911 probably. Oh shit! Oh! He's over!
Oh shit.
Call 911! Go! 911! Go!
And some news just in. The death toll from earthquake in Nepal has reached 1,457 people. The quake with a magnitude of 7.9 is the strongest to have hit the country in over 80 years. It reduced residential areas and centuries-old temples to rubble in Kathmandu. The quake struck before noon to the northwest of the capital. The shock waves also reached India, Bangladesh, and China.
News about the world's oldest and deepest freshwater lake. It's in crisis. Water levels at Baikal in Russia are apparently critically low, and scientists are deeply worried about it. Now, here's how it should look. A nice bit of rousing music anyway. But in 1 year, the freshwater lake has shrunk by almost half a metre. It's now 13 centimetres below critical level. That's its lowest in about 20 years. The authorities say that years of dry spells are to blame, but scientists say that hydroelectric power plants are drawing too much water, and that's the issue.
Some scientists think that nothing bad is happening to Lake Baikal and that fluctuations of 1 metre in the water level are normal. But we have to understand that it's normal when it happens throughout the year naturally and not suddenly because of the hydroelectric station.
And the waters have declined almost to what's sort of the minimum that the government would like to see, and the minimum as to what we know that the ecology, as we know of it, can stand. So I think it is an issue that needs to be monitored all the time. If the lake levels were being lowered at a time when the fish are vulnerable, especially when they're spawning in the shallow water, then of course that is very problematic.
You must disperse immediately.
What we're here to do is to show support for the families and the victims who have been senselessly murdered throughout the United States. Well, our initiative is for black men and women to start arming themselves and for us to start patrolling our own communities. That way we have a visual and we have an eye on what's going on in our neighborhoods. So our mission is to arm every black man that can legally be armed throughout the United States of America.
Michael Brown,
Eric Garner,
Walter Scott. We all know these.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
And what ensued.
You must disperse immediately.
My son was a fun-loving guy.
But how is this story of Abdul Kamal from New Jersey any different? And yet there was no nationwide coverage.
November the 11th, 2013, my son was murdered by 3 Irvington police officers. They shot him 15 times with 10 bullets actually killing him. He was unarmed. After the grand jury decided not to indict the police officers, we found out that they said he had a cell phone in his hand, not a gun. In this society, unless there's a video showing a frame-by-frame shooting, police officers are never indicted.
That story is just one in a flurry of similar cases over the past decade, and there's no even exact statistics. Romarley Graham, Akai Gurley, Malcolm Ferguson. You would not know these names unless you want to dig deeper.
For over 7 years, young black and brown women and men have been shot down by the police every 28 hours. We got a black president, black attorney general, black cabinet secretary of Homeland Security, but we haven't had one federal prosecution of a policeman for killing all of those folk. Something's wrong.
But events of the last 18 months have escalated it to a boiling point, bringing people out into the streets again. half a century since Selma. But is this a resurgence or continuation of what we're seeing today from the events, like, say, 50 years ago?
Well, I think it is a resurgence because, look, I thought 40 years ago we were going to have a revolution and all this stuff would be stopped. Didn't work out that way. Dialoguing, commissions, all of that is just talk to try to draw us out of the street. We have to be in the street. We have to say, this must stop.
Keep the pressure on. That means continually to bear witness, hit the street, tell the truth, bring more and more people in, and put pressure especially on these neoliberal, opportunist politicians of various colors.
Even if a dozen people turn up at their rallies, they are not stopping.
Civil rights movement was what got us to the point where we are now. Now we're fighting to be able, to actually live what Martin Luther King had a dream of, what Malcolm X spoke about, that, to live in a place where we feel like we are being treated equal to everybody else.
Many believe the latest police brutality incidents have launched an entirely new dialogue.
It's a dialogue being driven and controlled by the young people on the streets who are putting their lives on the line, who are risking their bodies. The conversation that's happening is a conversation of the society, and the society is both black and white and brown and yellow. And so it is a conversation to make the world better.
How do we now, in some sense, look at this moment as a moment of real transformation?
For the city of Ferguson, it even brought practical results: resignations, re-elections, and a much-coveted DOJ report.
It's kind of quiet. People are walking around on eggshells. What is going to happen now?
But it's hard to really believe in miracles when you see the open wounds of Ferguson on your way to work every day.
I feel pain. My kids are teenagers. And I look at that and I say, the war is on. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. And if we want to see more, continue to oppress those people.
Michelle Kamal knows that nothing will bring her son back. But there's only one thing she wants now.
I don't know if these police officers think that because they were not indicted, that they're not going to jail at this moment, that everything is fine. But I believe it will be justice. Yeah, I have to.
I still hear my brother crying, I can't breathe. Now I'm in this struggle, singing, I can't eat. Calling out the violence, racist police, and we ain't gonna stop till our people are free. Say it loud. We ain't gonna stop till our people are free.
Alexei Rashevsky, RT.